also spoke about the workforce demand for the independent learner. And I was thinking about Denise's project. Denise's project focuses on how to cultivate that quality of being an independent learner in her students who are often first-time freshmen taking developmental writing courses. And she's come up with some strategies that she believes, and her research will bear out, do cultivate that ability to be an independent learner.
What I do with the point system is that each course is worth anywhere between 105 and 110 points. So they have the opportunity to earn 105 to 110 depending on the course it is. I teach basic writing, Comp 1, Comp 2, and an elective. So let's say it's worth 110 points. I tell them outright all they have to do is earn 93 points for an A. So, and I even have a whole paragraph on a good planning strategy so that I tell them early in the semester you earn up to 73 points and you have a C and you're golden. Anything above that, you know you've passed the class. And if they do everything that I ask them to do and attend every class, by week 12 in the semester, they could walk away with a C. But at that point, they can see a B, they can see an A. That's within their grasp. But if at that point, week 12, you only have 40 points, you better step it up, because to even pass the class, you have to have another 25 points. At the end of every week, every Friday, I update the grade book. I use the grade book on Blackboard. And every assignment is there, and every attendance, so they can check at any point in the semester what amount of points that they have. And every Monday I post on the board, on the Blackboard, how many points could have been earned at this point. And what's different, I think, in my class than a lot of classes is that every day they have homework. So every day means something, and that is to instill also that coming to class is important, because if they're not there, they don't get that next piece to do that next. And I teach writing, so writing is a process, and that's what I had to really revise my grading system, because an essay, let's say an essay is worth 10 points. There's a process. They probably do 3 or 4 drafts before they get to that last draft. And then in his testimony,
he was never there.
Yeah,
he was never there.
But in his journal, he states that he is there.
Now, the woman that went in there didn't say that.
Laurel.
The woman,
Laurel,
she never said he was in there, though.
Right.
On probation or about to go to jail, tell the jury that C was involved. So it's obvious that these people were going to say anything to save themselves. You know what I mean?
So inherently, that extrinsic motivation of that point for the draft, well, a first draft is usually worth 2 points because I really want to get them started, and then each draft might be a point. And things need to change, and they have to incorporate what we did, whatever concept. So one essay might be worth 25% of the grade, but with all the drafts and the little activities and try this, change this, do this, by the end, it's probably worth 25 points, but that end process is 10 points. So it's not an all or nothing. Your play or your screenplay. So this is a minimum what I want for Tuesday, because Tuesday we're going to be sharing ideas, throwing ideas around, and the first draft is real important so we can see where we're going. And I always tell them you can jump in at any time. You can jump in. And the way to stretch out those points of the whole semester, if they're sick, if they miss something, they don't understand something, they don't do well on assignment, the whole semester's not tanked. It's one assignment. Okay, jump in, let's go with the next one. Especially in writing, it's so much practice and writing and writing. They're always writing.
I think so. The man is kind of like fate almost.
Okay, yeah, the government.
You know, if they want you, there's nothing you can do about it.
But it's nothing to do with what he did or didn't do. Is that the feeling again? If they get 101 or more points, they get a hats off award. And because I racked my brain the first semester I did this, and I actually asked my first, the class that I did this with, I said, what can I do for you? So the hats off award, if they get 101 points or more, They get a certificate with, I have a made-up certificate with like top hats on it, and it's congratulations that you've reached the top hat club, and this entitles you to a letter of reference any time in your life from me. And I tell them, right now it probably doesn't mean a whole lot, but 5 years from now, when you want your first professional job and somebody asks you for a professional reference, maybe one from your teacher, I'm going to remember you. Then I tell them, I can write, you went over and above what was asked for you, you did everything well, and it's going to be a glowing reference. And for your lifetime, you can always come back to me. In every class, there's probably 4 or 5. Every class of 22, there's maybe 4 or 5 that get the top hat. Usually about 95% of them say that the grading system let them have control, and that control motivated them. Because they can see they can do well. They have a path that they can follow. Everything's very clear. One student, I remember, and she did really well, but she didn't want to be told what to do. She wrote something like, I like to have things on my own terms, and if I did well, it was up to me. Carnegie is wonderful. As a teacher, you're very much alone in the classroom. There's one of you and 22 of them. But Carnegie gives you someone else to say, hey, look what I did, would it work for you, what can I do to make it better? Teaching is very lonely, even though you're with people all the time. It's very lonely because you don't have any perspective but your own. Carnegie research allows you to say, hey, I got numbers. I have some numbers here, and it really does work. Carnegie makes you more aware of what you're doing and why you're doing it. Any kind of action research in the classroom will impact the students because you're becoming aware of your teaching methods, seeing if they truly do work. Colleagues will help shape those ideas. You can't think in a vacuum. You can't think by yourself. And they're all different disciplines, and you tend to kind of stay with your own discipline and kind of think in terms of that. So we have math people and we have science people, and teaching. Good teaching is good teaching, but people think differently in different disciplines, and I think that's really an active exchange.
I think that's the key to the scholarship of teaching and learning. By embedding the assessment into the instruction, it becomes less intimidating to faculty. They understand what assessment really is.